Welcome back, Wash Up Walkons fans. Episode 180 of the greatest Iowa sports podcast on the planet. We love you. You are our army, and we couldn't do it without you guys. I don't know what we're going to talk about here on episode 180, but I just want to let you guys know I care about you, and we're excited to be here. So, Cleaver, what do you got for us?
Well, you're right. Rated across the galaxy as the number one Iowa sports podcast by all sentient beings. Isn't that crazy?
No, it's not honestly crazy to me at all.
The ratings are in. And
we put out great content.
They said we're the best, so I don't know.
All sentient beings, huh?
Yeah, all of them. They took an entire poll somehow. I don't know how, but we're here. We're podcasting. We're 180 of these things deep, boys. And we're rolling up on episode 200, and we did Greenway for 100.
Hey, we got to hit up. Since we did Greenway for 100, do we do Greenway and Abdul for 200? Greenway said he was in. Abdul said he was in.
Yeah,
I do a Hodge on the podcast.
Those two together, talking about stories from their time, might have to look into it. I know Abdul is a coach at South Dakota now, I believe.
Yeah, so is our boy Miles Taylor.
Shout out Miles. I was just talking to him a couple days ago.
Miles, need to have him on the pod, and a bunch of other people that we always talk about having on the pod because we're so close to 200 fans. Walk on Army. I know I asked for suggestions a couple weeks ago of just general guests, but who should 200 be? Tell us. We have Zach Johnson on the back burner. I've got his cell phone in my phone. Note, humble brag. I had a text conversation with him.
Let's not act like he's on the back burner. We want to have a podcast with Zach Johnson worse than we want to breathe, but
yeah, that's true.
Kevin is a busy man.
Yeah.
And we can't really not have Kevin on the Zach Johnson podcast.
I would have been very disappointed.
And we saved it for you, Kevin, because we actually respect you, dude. Even though we say we hate you, and 90% of the time we do hate you, that 10% of our love was us waiting to do the Zach Johnson podcast.
Yeah, and to be fair for the people out there, like the recording time was like on a Thursday at like 10 a.m. or something like that. It was just like,
yeah,
this is like not something that I could just like do that time. So,
yeah,
so I did not forcefully deprive you of a Zach Johnson episode.
Zach Johnson will happen. The other big ones will happen, right? And Drake almost hit something on the head there. The true marker of our respect, though we talk shit about Kevin, say he isn't even a host anymore, all this other stuff.
That was you, dude. I didn't say that.
That
we
left
all
him.
You.
I went into the LLC and took his name off the paperwork and all that other stuff. No, I'm kidding.
Christ, Kevin.
Good. I don't have to pay taxes on this shit this year then.
You shouldn't have to anyway, because I made it so that it equaled out. Anyway, the big guests like Greenway, Zach Johnson, James Morris, even stuff that we know is going to hit, which, by the way, that James Morris episode hit. The $1 Long Island iced teas with Nate Meyer. I re-listened to that, and even though I was a part of the recording, I was laughing my ass off. And that story is incredible. Nate Meyer, different breed.
People were eating it up. Was Twitter on fire?
Yeah, they were eating a little bit. The big ones we will always wait to get Kevin in on because, I mean, like Zach Johnson, hey, Kevin, sorry. This is probably your one opportunity to have an hour-long conversation with Zach, and Drake and I are just going to do it without you.
I wouldn't put it past him, but I appreciate you guys waiting.
Yeah, so the big ones. So who should 200 be? Zach Johnson is an option. Bring back Greenway. I know he would be down, and there's a lot of other options too. But today is not going to be one of those unbelievable episodes. But we got a few things to talk about. We previewed the NFL weekend / college football playoff championship weekend last Thursday, and
I had to pay Kevin $50 because Tampa was up 11 at halftime. I had him at 8.5, and what did they do? Beat them by 8.
Can we talk about Taylor Heineke?
Oh,
yes,
God.
we can.
Dude, he got signed to their practice squad less than a month ago, and he balled out like that at a quarterback.
You know what he did? He just got himself like a solid backup spot somewhere.
For sure. Like crazy athletic too. Like he was scooting away from dudes, just throwing some great balls here and there. But to have like a just like walk in there and kind of have like a little bit of a command of the offense when you were, I don't know what he was doing a month ago, but to have that kind of rhythm and being that in sync with your receivers a month in, that's incredible.
Do you think that there's anything to, hey, nobody knows my name, I can pretty much just go and like give this all I got, like really take chances here, and that's part of his success? Like,
sure. I mean, yeah, I guess you can look at it as like, playing with nothing to lose type mentality. But I think the bigger benefit for him is that, defenses don't know how to prepare for it.
It's true.
But,
true. I was very impressed.
He way outperformed just those like two little.
He started scooting out of the pocket and like running, and I was like, oh, guy
he was
can
running away from dudes.
I was like, guy can move. Like,
yeah.
Guy's fast. And you're definitely not prepared for that when some Heineken beer rolls in plays quarterback. I think he should have an automatic sponsorship by Heineken. There should be.
I mean, that's just match made in heaven.
They should be his people should be talking to their people right now. So incredible effort by him and the Redskins and old Sheriff, but they are done for the year. Tampa Bay Gronkaneers got it done. Tampa Bay, I don't know if you guys saw the promo picture of Tom versus Drew.
Oh, versus Drew Brees and the
grandpas.
Oh my God, dude. They're so fucking old. They're like if they would have had kids, if they would have been on Teen Mom, they could be our dads. Like Teen Dad.
Yes.
They would be our dads, like at 15 years old. Tom Brady is 16.
Tom Brady is like literally 12 years older than my dad.
Younger.
12 years older than your dad. Yeah. No, if they would have had kids like in sophomore year of high school, that would be us. I would be Tom's kid, which would be tough because I don't want to kiss him on the lips. But
43, so if it would be like their senior year of high school.
Yeah, something like that. So Tom moves on. I have it pulled up here. I'm an asshole, and you had to listen to me babble about the bracket.
Dude, a couple of my friends hit me up, and they're like, thank you for shitting all over Kluver.
I was just looking at a picture, and now I have the actual real picture, okay? So Tom's going to play Drew, and we'll break it down a little bit.
And listen, it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
Ooh, it's tough. Yeah. But
and you know what else? The Browns are going to cover 10.
Ooh, okay. So Saints Buccaneers, the winner of that's going to play winner of Packers Rams. Okay. Big Rams.
Blow them out, throw them out. Whatever the line is, the Packers cover by 10.
Yeah, the Packers are good, and I like the Rams.
And it's going to be cold, and the Rams don't belong out there.
What do you think?
So you say the Packers, doesn't matter what the line is, they cover, but you're not saying the Chiefs cover.
You're right.
Correct.
Yeah.
What's the rationale there?
A-Rod.
Because you can't tell me that Cleveland is that much better a team than the Rams.
Listen, I don't believe in the Rams offense with Jared Goff with a bad hand in the freezing cold of Lambeau at all. That's my statement. That's point. Why I don't think the Rams are going to move the football at all.
Do you think that their defense is going to be able to stop Aaron Rodgers?
Who stopped Aaron? Who?
I mean, Jalen Ramsey can, just shadow Devontae Adams.
Right.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm saying Packers cover.
Dom Daphne, Alan Lazard. You never know. I'll say this, and I don't know what this looks like, but Tom Brady and the Buccaneers did work the Packers this year. That was about the only time the Packers looked bad, and they actually smoked them. And I don't know what, the specifics of that, but somebody did it. So there's a will, there's a way, right?
The Vikings absolutely worked the Packers too. When they played them in Lambeau.
Yeah, true.
The Packers defense isn't great. It's
Agreed.
It's average,
Yeah,
agreed.
It's the NFL,
but their offense is insane.
No,
and I just don't
Aaron
trust
Rodgers
the Rams.
is still slinging around like he's in his prime, and Devontae Adams is damn near unstoppable.
The Browns can run the ball and pass out of the backfield as well as any team in the NFL, and that's how you win playoff games in the cold. And we know that the Chiefs defense can be ran on, and I think the Browns can keep it close. I'm not saying they can win the game. I'm saying they can cover 10, or they can stay within 10 points.
How much do you guys think that the 1 week bye plays into?
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
Because I think it is a significant advantage, at least a 2-point advantage if you're talking Vegas lines.
When you're looking at grown men who, I mean, you guys know, I don't know, but you guys know how. I mean, there were
12-week season feels
right
on the body. It hurts, and that's college football.
And now think about this: you're 5 years older. You're doing it right now, or you're doing it when you're 30. And I don't know what the average age of the teams are. Your body, I mean, there were some guys that were taped together with Elmer's glue until about Friday morning some weeks. I mean, Ike would probably tell you, speaking of Ike, the Bills got it done in a tight one. Our boy, the Bills move on, and they'll be playing the Ravens, which might be the best game of this upcoming weekend.
Absolutely.
I think it will be.
I'm so nervous, dude.
I think that bye is so huge for both those teams. So that's why I think both the teams that got the bye are gonna
Chiefs and Packers.
Are gonna handle business this week.
You get that.
So you think they both cover, is what you're saying?
So I didn't bet them to cover the normal spread. I have both of them in the teaser though.
Smart.
If I had to put they're both at 10.
So what? Tell me what the Rams.
Packers are at 7.
Oh,
Ooh.
Christ! Give it to me for the mortgage, dude. The Packers will cover 7 in Lambeau in the playoffs.
I agree with that.
I don't know. Maybe the Chiefs do, but tell me that the Chiefs' offense at times hasn't looked mortal.
Struggled a little bit.
10 is a lot, and they've struggled at times.
Right. I just don't know. And the Browns, they proved something. Like Steelers have beaten them 100 million times in a row. They haven't had a playoff win in 300 or 400 years.
The Steelers are the biggest paper tiger of the entire season.
You're right. They're frauds.
Agreed.
But Tyreek, Travis, Patty, all coming off a bye fresh.
They got some dudes that are problems, man.
And the Browns, it's not like, first of all, one of the wildest first quarters of football ever, regardless of being in the playoffs. But then you consider it as a playoff game. I mean, they scored 28 points in the first quarter. And it was like,
that's just one bad thing on top of the other stacking up for the Steelers.
It was like, what is
in the fourth quarter? It's like, all right, well, I just want to go home.
Right. So the Browns, I mean, they fought. I mean, they're scrappy now, and they're a little beat up. So, 10 points, man.
Did y'all see Chase Claypool's video?
He said they're gonna get clapped by the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, he's like, this fucking asshole is on Instagram Live like the day after, like going through films, like, oh, made this guy flinch. What a bitch. Meanwhile, they just got their asses whooped. And he's like, yeah, they're going to get their asses clapped next week. So it's all good. It's like, bro, do you not care that you just lost? So part of me hopes the Browns
win
or make it close just to make him look like a bigger asshole, because I think that's a big asshole move. But no, I did bet the Chiefs.
I'm gonna go with Drake on this one on the -10 line for the Chiefs. I'm gonna say the Browns cover that, and I'm gonna say the Packers cover -7. Those are my two picks there. I do not know. I'm sure you guys maybe do what the lines on the other two games are.
It is the Bills -2.5, and it's the Saints minus a field goal.
Man, those are really good lines.
Dude, let me get Tampa Bay and the 3 points.
Really?
Because you recall the score the last time those two teams played?
Listen, man, I understand. It's a whole different ballgame.
Before you say anything else, do you recall the score of the last game?
No, I don't. I know that the first time they played, it wasn't like great.
I think it was like week 1. I think
the last time they played was I was actually coming back from South Carolina, and I caught the score as we were boarding the plane. It was like on the terminal TV, and Tom Brady. First of all, I needed Tom Brady to get me 11 fantasy points that night, and he got 2.
Oh,
it was like 38-3, Kev, or something like that.
38-3.
Yeah, it was bad, right?
It was bad, but that was Tom's first game in Tampa. It's a whole different set.
First time they played, it was a somewhat reasonably close game. I think Saints won by 10 or something like that. The second time they played is when the Saints whooped their ass.
I'm going to say that the Saints cover 3 points. And I'm going to say,
if I recall, the Saints got a lot of pressure on Tom the second time they played, and that's why they just couldn't get anything going offensively. You know, Tampa's offensive line has been playing pretty well lately, so I think that would be the key factor in the game.
I'll take the Ravens to cover but not win. It's going to be a 1 or 2 point game.
Oh, yucky. I'm not even touching that game because but I truly believe it is so hard to beat a team 3 times. It's so hard.
It is.
Tampa has a lot of film to correct their mistakes on. They're coming in a whole different mindset, motivation. They're riding a wave. I don't know, man. I like them.
All right. Cool. So in your eyes, I know you're riding. Who are you riding with? You riding with the Bills?
Bills, pick them. I don't want to give the Chiefs 2.5 points.
It's not the Chiefs, it's the Ravens.
Or I mean the Ravens, sorry.
So the higher seeds win all this, and it's Chiefs, Bills, Packers, Saints in the Final Four. Yeah.
So this is what I did as I teased all the favorites. I took all the favorites and teased them.
Okay. If I had to,
I like the Bills over the Ravens just because I think their defense is better.
I think you're right there. I think the Bills front 7 gives them a good chance to stop that run attack, and Josh Allen's playing pretty damn good football right now. So I think Bills minus 2.5 might actually be my favorite pick of the weekend.
Wow. My heart, because I'm a Tom fan, I love legacy and the hero and just the success story. And Tom is obviously that guy. And if you're leaning on somebody in the playoffs, I'd probably pick Tom Brady. My heart says that if there's an upset, it's the Buccaneers over the Saints. And I think I want to see that more than I think that we'll see that. But because part of me wants Tom in the Super Bowl. Like I want him to win the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers and just say,
come on, man. It's Drew Brees' last year, probably. You don't want to give him one last ride?
I want Tristan to have a chance. So no, I don't.
It's true. And the Saints are they're the only team left without a Hawk on the roster.
Fair enough.
So fuck the Saints.
So Kluver, I think we picked identical. And because Kevin is so confident in minus 2.5 on the Bills, I like it too. So
okay.
I thought you were about to say because Kevin's so confident, I'm gonna
go the other way.
No, absolutely not. I Bills Mafia till they trade Ike, honestly. But if they did that, then fuck them to the grave. But it's Bills Mafia as long as Ike's there.
As long as Ike's there.
But what I'm saying is, if you like them that much, then I like them that much, and we'll go Tampa to cover, Bills to cover.
Okay. There's one final college football game, and I saw that, Kevin, you tweeted, thank you to everybody who made college football happen this year. You probably echo the sentiment of many who, without college football this fall and early winter, would have really been searching for something to do on Saturdays.
100%.
And
by searching, you mean for a tall building?
Or a tall drink or something.
Man, I just think the country you can argue about whether it was the best use of resources and stuff. I truly believe the country needed college football this year.
I think there's something to that. I agree. And the culmination of college football ended in Alabama, Devontae Smith, and Nick Saban just absolutely dominating. That guy is so good. Devontae Smith, is he the best receiver ever in college? Maybe.
No, that's too far. Can you put him on a list with some of the other great ones?
The best
yes.
season in college football ever. Possibly,
Yeah.
probably.
117.
Like he really just kind of exploded this year.
That's true.
He's had some dudes in front of him. I feel like to be the best of all time, you have to have at least a couple years of work.
I agree. But for this one single season, 117 catches, 1,800 yards, 23 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's possibly the best season of all time.
But, dude, just look at the fact that Jamar Chase set the record last year and then completely skipped this year. So Devontae Smith didn't even have the competition of the guy who was supposedly the number one receiver in the country coming back. Yeah. Like, are you considering Jamar Chase the second best receiver of all time?
No.
I don't think that answer is yes either. So,
and I think
it's a stretch.
Based on numbers, though, to make a point, he had an absolutely wild season, which is obviously why he won the Heisman. But at its core,
last game for 2.5 quarters.
Yeah. I at heart, though, am a guy who, if you put my face to the fire, I probably tell you that the best receiver ever in college football, due to not having, probably the best quarterback or the best offensive line, like he probably didn't even play on a national championship team. You'd have to go back and look at a full career from a receiver in college. I'm not well versed on that, but he was probably like stats wise, maybe in the top 15 of years of everything, but his ability, what he could do in the college game to other people he didn't reach full potential.
You still haven't told us who he is.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
I don't either. I'm saying if you had to go look, it's probably going to be a guy who didn't have one of the top 5 or 10 best seasons statistically. It's going to be.
So you're just making a random assumption.
You're just going to say, that guy from the top 15 or whatever.
No, I'm saying if you were to go in and look at it just in super detail, you'd probably find truly argue that it wouldn't be like Devontae Smith, or like the best receiver in college ever would be a guy who didn't have one of those one-off years. I'm saying that's where I would go with it if you had me go and find the best receiver ever. But you guys decided.
So you're saying it's going to be an eye test thing for somebody that you don't even know.
I like the eye test to count for something if you're going to actually go and find the best ever. Yeah.
I think this was one of those.
Sure, but you
Billy
should probably
Madison
have somebody
moments.
in the back of your head when you have that.
Yeah, like this feels like one of those Billy Madison moments where we all just got stupider because of what you said. And none of us can get our time back, and may God have mercy on your soul.
All right, cool. Fuck him. Fuck me. All right. I was generalizing. I'm saying at any position, that's probably the case. You guys evidently in the beginning of that, I must have came off wrong. We're both hoping that I would reveal some guy at the end.
That's what we were all expecting.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. I had you all on your seat.
You blue balled us back,
and I cucked y'all. Ohio State, I don't know how healthy Fields was. He was in pain visibly again, but they didn't really have a chance here. I mean, they both scored to open up the game, but Alabama absolutely dominated after, really the second quarter, and still cool.
Yeah. Ohio State has some dudes out with COVID, but I think it's like a couple offensive linemen, their kicker, and some other dudes, but it doesn't change the fact that they let up 52 points. I mean, oof. Those linebackers just could not do anything against Najee Harris, or you got Pete Werner chasing around Devontae Smith. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen.
Had Tough Borland chasing him around too.
There ain't nobody on that team that can chase him.
And credit to Alabama is in addition to just having better dudes, they found ways to get their better dudes in even better situations.
You're telling me Alabama's got some dudes?
They got some dudes on the coaching sideline, and they got some dudes
on the field as well. Yeah. So Alabama finishes out Nick Saban's 7th national championship. I saw a stat that every single guy, assuming that they would have stayed through 4 years, every single class that Nick Saban has recruited has won a national championship.
At Alabama, yeah.
At Alabama. How wild is that?
It's gotta be kind of cool.
That'd be all right.
I just don't know what it would feel like, because those kids sign and they know it.
Right.
Like, they sign on the dotted line and know that if they can put their nose to the grindstone and make it, they're gonna have a ring.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
we signed up for going to hell. Over the past dozen years, Nick Saban's recruits have signed up knowing they're going to get their ring fitted.
Only one place can really do it.
Alabama go 4 years without winning a title? I don't think so. I think I'm going to go to Alabama.
I'll take Alabama.
And Clemson is probably a good bet at this point too. Like, they're the only two shoe-ins because they keep getting the best quarterbacks and the best skill position players.
So that brings up a kind of segue to another point. Is college football is obviously very top loaded right now.
Heavy.
I've seen some people say, that's why we got to expand the playoff, but like,
it's not going to matter.
No, it's still like the top 3 talented teams are really the only ones that I feel like have a legitimate chance to beat each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Me personally wanting to expand the playoff is just to give that sense of hope and like make those last few games a little bit more important for, another 4, 6, or 8.
Sure. 10. Right. Like, give the American a chance. See what Cincinnati can do. They played a great game versus Georgia, by the way. Do I think they could have beaten Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State? No, but I would like to see it at 8 teams, but I don't think that's going to change.
How do you fix it?
No, I don't think it's going to change it at all. It's how top.
How do you fix it? You let the universities pay their players.
I think so. I honestly think that might be
because even though it may, like we discussed, it may potentially hurt a team like Iowa, there's still multiple places, Georgia, Tennessee, Auburn,
Texas.
You know what I'm saying? Texas. There's teams who can spend the money just like Alabama and Clemson can spend the money. And they can even the playing field a little.
But it's an even playing field right now, essentially. You think Clemson and Alabama wouldn't pay a player just as much as Texas would pay a player? And then it's just back to the same old argument. Do I want to win a championship? Do I want to be on a good team? Do I want to go to the NFL? Okay, I'm going to go to Bama versus Texas.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't
know.
The Nick Saban factor is real. I mean, that's if I could have picked one coach to play for, no disrespect to KF, it's Nick Saban. So
he's arguably the best college coach of all time. I mean,
he's in the argument of greatest coach in sports history, because if you just lump all sports together, you're looking at guys like who coached Bill Russell and the Celtics, and then you've got the famous Lakers coach. You've got Bill Belichick, but Nick Saban is in.
I like how you couldn't even name half the coaches.
But dude, I'm not a big basketball fan, and I was born in '94, so forgive me for not knowing their name. I just remember them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. I don't. I mean, you might have to put like a. You got to put like a 5-star cap on a recruiting class. Like, all right, you got 3 5 stars. You're done. Like everybody gets 3. That would be the only way to do it.
So it's the Bernie Sanders system of college football recruiting.
Yeah. If you have a bunch of 5 stars, you have to, and you earn.
Yeah. Bring out
start giving them to everybody else.
Bring out the NBA luxury tax.
Oh God.
Yeah, seriously. Universities have to start cutting their athletic budgets because they've got too many 5 stars.
Hey, women's tennis. Yeah, we just locked down the biggest receiver in the country, so you're not going to be playing this year.
That's so disrespectful to even be laughing at, but it's so funny to think about.
I don't know how you fix it. I'm glad I'm not in charge. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know. These guys, these programs, they find good players and they coach them, they develop them, and you know, I see.
That's it.
I don't know. Like someone else has to find a way to do it better to knock him off the podium.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know a fair system to how to even things out.
Yeah, I don't have much else to really talk about it unless Kevin or you do, Drake. Drake, you said you had a couple questions for me. I don't know what those questions.
No. I was saying you come up with some questions off of Twitter or something because those are fun to talk about.
Oh, I mean, we've been talking for 40 minutes, but
yeah, no, that's good.
That's about it. I mean, college football happened. Iowa football happened.
We could always shout out our other Hawks, man, the Hawk basketball team, because they're balling.
They're on a 4-game.
Hawkeye Wrestling starting the season off hot this Friday.
Yep.
Versus the Cornhuskers.
The Cornhuskers.
Really? That's our first match?
Number 1 Iowa versus number 6 Nebraska. Iowa men's basketball takes on Michigan State tomorrow night. Tonight, as you listen to this on Thursday, on a 4-game win streak. And Iowa women's basketball, Caitlin Clark is like one of the best players in the country. Maybe the best freshman in the country. I don't know the other freshmen. Kevin, you're on mute. And they were taking on Ohio State like as we did this podcast. So Kevin, you're still on mute. I don't know what you're doing. Oh, he was on a call. That's what he was doing. And that's about it. Hawks are going to play some more this weekend. Let's all be happy that college football happened. It'll probably be less in doubt next season, hopefully. All this vaccine, things open back up. Maybe it'll be normal by fall when things roll around, but that is about it. Anything else, Drake?
I got nothing, man.
Hawks by 1 million.
By 1 million.
And we thank you for listening each and every week. Shout out to those who continue to come listen to us. Coach Woods texted us and said he listened to the James.
Big shout out to Coach Woods for tuning in.
And he said he was laughing his ass off. So cool when other people that we know and respect a lot and have a lot going on in their life say they listen to the podcast. It's like, oh, wow, you gave us the time of day. That's weird. So that's neat. Hopefully have a guest on again on Sunday. I think I lined that up right before we click play on this episode. So another guest episode of a same class as James Morris. And we'll leave it at that. Episode 180. Watch up Walkons. We'll talk to you again.
See you soon, Casey.